nigga, being with your mama was the worst mistake I ever made in my life.
Nigga, you better chill the fuck out talking about my mom like that.
Boy, you better back up. Take that bass out your voice.
What's up, man? I ain't scared of your bum ass.
Hey, nigga, you the one that came looking for me. Remember?
If I hadn't, would you have showed up? That's right. I didn't think so.
Wow. I can't believe season 1 is over. This was definitely, I would say so far in 2022, definitely a top 1, 2, or 3 finale. And I really enjoyed the way they kept Lou hanging in limbo for a little while, the mystery involved. And I got to say, my man Marlon Wayans, you knocked this one out the park for me, brother. Really enjoyed it. I felt the pain. I felt the emotion. I felt the confusion. I felt the detachment that you portrayed as Will's father. And I love the way this entire show has done the cinematography and the music that helps elevate each individual scene. That scene where Lou was in there with Uncle Phil gave you so much tension because of the music they played, the score in the background. And if you young folks don't remember the first Fresh Prince, let me take you back to my man James Avery playing Uncle Phil when they met Lou. That was a classic. It's nostalgia. Take a look at what happened the first time.
Will is not a coat that you hang in the closet, then pick it up when you're ready to wear it. His life goes on. He's not supposed to be here for you. You're supposed to be here for him.
You think I want this? It just happened. Now, when Will was a baby, I was scared.
Cut the crap, all right? Cut it. Because I've been there. But I didn't run out on my family.
So, yeah, and I would say that this meeting with Lou definitely lived up to that one. And I still rest in peace, Uncle Phil, James Avery, my man. But I will say your legacy is being taken care of. Lou's legacy has been taken care of by these wonderful actors doing this new edition. If you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Marlon Wayans. I'm going to reach out to you. I want to interview you to see what your process was picking this role and how you embodied such great emotion. Still trying to get my TV wife, Cassandra Freeman, up here, and Uncle Phil and anyone from that cast because I enjoyed this show. Let's break it down. In the beginning, Vivian has got her new position, and she's displaying her artwork, which this particular artwork displays Will with the crown on his head. And I love the alliteration they're giving you here. This show has been about the Fresh Prince getting the crown, and she was able to display everything she saw in Will, who was her inspiration to get back into painting. She put it on the artwork showing him. And Uncle Phil, being America's uncle, just reassured Will that everything in that painting was correct. And I really have enjoyed this show, man. Really enjoyed it. We see Denise meeting up with my TV wife, but I think that after this episode, again, she done messed up a little bit on me. I might have to disavow that name because the first thing that came out of Denise's mouth was, "Where is old light skin eyes?" and y'all finally see somebody else is giving him the same nickname I've been giving him for the whole season. But then we get another interesting twist, and they don't introduce people for nothing. We get old Hebrew, Vivian's friend. Hebrew looked more like a Moses from the Bible, congratulating Vivian. And I wonder what type of role would this brother play next season. Maybe he's going to be a road assistant. Maybe he's going to cause some drama. When they bring people like this, you never know which way they're going to go, but something is going to happen. Then we get the Instagram million subscriber played by Chris Brown's baby mama, gets a chance to meet Jazzy Jeff. And did you guys notice how Hillary introduced him? She didn't introduce him as my friend, my lover. She introduced him as my cousin's friend. And then when she did that, this Instagram lady dug her claws in Jazzy Jeff. She shook his hand, and if handshakes could create an orgasm, that's what she was having when she shook this man's hand. And ladies and gentlemen, I haven't done enough to credit the actor playing Jazzy Jeff, because Jazzy Jeff's on this rendition has been a breath of fresh air for this family on numerous occasions. He has been somewhat of a backbone conscious to this family for Hillary and for Will. And you see that as the series comes to a conclusion at the very end. We see Will making his way to Lisa because he loves her. And she's not having it with him right now because she doesn't like that he lied about how he got to Philly. And I'm going to get into more of why parents, either you can call it lying, hiding, whatever you want to call it, we don't tell kids the truth in the beginning. And of course, we're not modeling what we want our children to grow up and do. But I'm going to just say it like this. There are things that the immature mind can't handle. And if you give them certain truths, they will make the wrong decision based on those truths. That's the reason why we have a legal limit for drinking. You tell them the truth, or if you was to give them that whole card alcohol, they're going to be making crazy decisions. There's a reason why we don't let people smoke a certain age. There's a reason why we don't let people go to the military at a certain age. There's a reason why we keep certain things from people based on their maturity level. And even when you do reach a number age, that still doesn't mean you are mature enough to handle whatever these situations or these truths may be. And so right now, she don't want to hear it from Will, whether we all think that she could or couldn't handle it. She ain't trying to hear it. She telling Will to step off. But Will said, I love you. Let's talk about it. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I called it. Jazzy Jeff done got them panty draws from Hillary. And while they in bed smoozing, talking about how they feel, this was one of those moments that Jeff gave great advice. He told Hillary, you know, I think that beyond the good looks and the way you look in those outfits, you have a mind for branding. You have a mind for building things with people on social media. So why don't you partner with old girl and make it happen? And then while they in the midst of all that, Will is buzzing up their phone because he wants to get some advice on Lisa. And he calls Jazz and he's laughing because Will knew exactly where Jazz was at, in the bed next to Hillary. And she was a little embarrassed. But I think that when she saw old girl kind of smoozy up to Jazz, that made her think, I better enjoy this diamond I got, even though I'm not seeing it the way I should. I better take advantage of it. Will's downstairs making breakfast, and Carlton comes downstairs, and this is when we see more and more of what Ashley had to offer. Ashley knows everything going on behind the scenes. They're wondering, where the hell is Jeffrey? What happened to Jeffrey? Ashley pretty much knows exactly what's going on, that he was kicked out. Will had a certain story. Carlton had a certain story. Ashley knew the real story, and Ashley's been good for knowing that real story most of the time in the season. And the hunt is on for my man MI6. Jeffrey, where you at, brother? We're going to figure out something you did, but we still want to see you come back. Then, oh, Lord. Old light-skinned eyes, Art Tapestries. He's back. Vivian is talking to him about, instead of her just doing what she's doing currently, she wants to form a partnership with him. And every time they show this angle, I just think that Art Tapestry boy has this thing designed to have this little art space of his look like a trap for women, because this looks like a cheese trap for a mouse. And he's got a beautiful mouse in here now. My TV wife, Aunt Vivian, who in this moment, I'm kicking her to the curb because of this relationship. Now, I think at this moment, her intentions are all pure and business. I do. I believe that. However, as she's smoothing things over with him and what happened with Uncle Phil in San Diego, she's letting Art Tapestries understand that, hey, we all good. I can partner with you. It's something for you to think about. He didn't give her an answer, but we know the answer is going to come next season. And I fear when these two go on the road, partnering and doing things together, either he's going to cross the line with her, or she might find out that he's using his position of authority to cross the line with up-and-coming young artists. So we're going to see where it goes, man, but I got some apprehension about that. Lisa texts Will to say she's ready to talk, and as Will is leaving, we see a black Toyota pull up into the Bel Air mansion with that fence, giving a false sense of security because the fence didn't close quick enough. This dude got in, and take a wild guess who's in this Toyota Camry. And I'm assuming this is a rental because he said he got tickets from the pastor to get all the way to Bel Air. It is Lou, Will's daddy, played by Marlon Wayans. And boy, was this a doozy. He came back. We all want to know why the hell you back now. After 13 years, you've been out of jail 3. And he gave somewhat of a compelling argument of why he stayed away. Now, ladies and gentlemen, oftentimes I attribute a lot of things that happen in the world to people's lack of education. Education isn't always just what you get in the books. Education can be experiences you go through and you learn from them. Anything that you go through that has you learn is education. And with Marlon, his education right now on, I guess, the generalities of life is lower than Phil and Vivian, not because of per se money, but just because of his limited experience. This man has been in jail. Then when he got out of jail, he was in a halfway house. He hasn't had the opportunity to learn how to behave in polite society. He's never really and truly been a father, only but for 3 years in his kid's life. And all those years of Will growing up could have been an understanding and an education in my son, how to treat my son. He didn't get that. And so now, for whatever the reason, he's back. And Uncle Phil is questioning those reasons. And in the next clip, he's talking to Vi saying, Lou is here. I told him I need to talk to you about whether or not we're going to let you back in Will's life. And, you know, Vivian, she's okay. She's like, well, you know, that's going to be a decision for Will. And should we make this decision for Will? And they're talking about all the events that led them to hiding these decisions because they're adults and Will was a kid, and how it could have ramifications on his life long term. While that's going on, Carlton done went and decided to be nosy as hell, get the letter that Will, MI6 gave Will, and now he's showing it to Will. And Will looks in there, and Will knows all the reasons and everything and what happened to his daddy. He storms downstairs. Now, this has got to be a part that I know some parents is rolling their eyes at. These kids raising their voice and cussing at their parents, and it's being acceptable. I don't know if that is what's going on with a lot of families out there nowadays, but I know a lot of men, when Will raised his voice at Uncle Phil, would have done what his daddy eventually did. But I would say this, Uncle Phil showed tremendous resolve and patience with Will, because I think they know that they should have had prepared this young man for this story earlier, or maybe even told him the truth earlier. And now, you know, maybe they're feeling a little on edge because it's all about to come out. They call Vi to let them know that the dad just done popped up, and Vi is a little shook because I'm sure she's thinking, you know, I could have done a little more to get Will prepared for his dad, and I didn't do it. And while that conversation is going on, Hillary is back in here with Chris Brown's baby mama acting on the show, and I'm very concerned that we can't trust this character on the show. Hillary proposes becoming this girl's partner. She buy her out of Kylo's house. She says, you know what? I think we got something. Let me holler at my accountant, but I think you need to start making plans. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trusting it. They've given me too many signs that there's something icky with this girl that we might not be able to trust, because Hillary is jumping out of the arms of Kylo, who might be a snake, and she could be jumping into the arms of a Black Widow's web trap with this girl right here, who is a Instagram web phenomenon. Post your comments on if you think this is going to be a good move or a bad move for Hillary. And then we get back to Lou getting ready to meet Will, and Lord have mercy. Aunt Vivian, she let that West Philly out. She told him, you better say all the right things and look at the grit in her teeth, because if you don't, I will kick your ass. West Philly, ho! She was about to go Will Smith on the Oscar stage on this show. And she let him know, man, look, you better be nice to my son. Then my nephew. Then we finally get Will face to face confronting his daddy. Bittersweet moment, because as a dad who's been locked up, you haven't had a whole lot of time in free society. You haven't reached out to your son in jail, which you could have done. To see this boy, almost a grown man, standing looking you eye to eye, the emotion that Marlon Wayans portrayed is probably the way it would have went down for a lot of people. And Jabari, my goodness, playing Will Smith. You did a good job of a hurt son who's going through pain when families have kept, at the very least, the information of an estranged family member from you. Because I'm like that with my father. My mom ain't talk about my father. I'm 41 years old, still don't know about my dad. He never reached out to me either, and I can understand what Will is going through right here. And as they're having their meet and greet, Will forgot about the love of his life, Lisa. She's sitting at the coffee shop. Her coffee done got cold and shit. The piece of cake or whatever she was about to eat, just sitting there, people walking in and out. And she finds like, you know what? The hell with this dude. He don't love me. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation goes down. We see a father who hasn't had communication with their child in so long, talking about what they did before he went to jail, but then blaming everything on the mom in his perspective. Now, bruh, you ain't seen your son, and the person that did take care of him for all these years, you're going to try to turn her out to be the villain? Now, whether you had personal issues with her or not, that's not what you say the first time you see your damn son. You don't want to hear that. He ain't trying to hear that. And you trying to make her out to be the villain for things you did wrong. And at the end of the day, let's just say that she was the reason, which she's not. You still could have mailed this boy out of prison. Now, Vi admitted she did keep a lot of this information out of Will's life. But that don't mean that you could not have attempted to send letters. And if Vi would have kept those letters from you, then that would have been wrong on her part. But you didn't even attempt to do that. So that begs the question, why the hell is you back? And of course, Will, he got defensive about his mama. He's mama's boy. And he made no bones about it. And Dad did what some parents probably would have done to Will the first time Will raised his voice. He grabbed him. But Lou, you ain't in no position to expect respect from this boy, and you just seeing him again and you trying to demand respect. Will said it best. You don't get no respect. To get respect, it is earned. Now, that's no matter what your age. That is no matter what your age. You know, parents and adults, you need to model respect to a child. You don't just run up on somebody and disrespect them and then think that because you are older than them, you get respect. No. And that's what Will let them know. And it spiraled out of control. They about to get into fisticuffs, and Uncle Phil had to come in and break it up. But by the time he got there, Will was upset. He was mad at all these adults that had lied to him. So he's about to be out. And then you had a touchy moment where Carlton has come 360. Carlton has got to the point where he loves Will. Will has been there for him. He don't want to see Will go. And he slips money into Will's pocket. And I mean a knot of hundreds on a gold-plated money clip. And he's begging Will not to go. He's sick. He don't want Will to go. And Will's like, man, I got to do this. I just got to do this because I'm tired of being around adults trying to hide things from me and lie to me as if I can't handle it. Well, I'm here to tell you, sometimes you young folks can't handle it. Sometimes you have to reach a certain maturity so that you can handle these situations and make the right decisions. And they should have probably been prepping Will based on each of his maturity levels. So you could have done this by, at every age you notice his maturity, you prep him with a little bit of information that he can handle at that maturity. So what they did wrong was they never prepped him with the information, parts of the information that he can handle at each age of his maturity. And now all of a sudden, all this stuff is thrown back in his face. So he's out. They call his mama. She's mad. And then she did mention what she did wrong in the situation. But you can cool believe that, you know, Will is going to find a way to turn this around and come back. And then Carlton goes to get Lisa, who's mad, until Lisa realizes from Carlton that the whole reason Will bounced on you in that meeting was just simply because his father showed up. And you know what? That was an eye-turning moment for Lisa because she instantly felt the pain that she know Will told her about her father from that conversation they had before Will got her panty draws. And in this moment, you can also see the friendship and love that Carlton and Lisa have for each other, because they both love Will and want to get him back, and they're about to work together to find him. And then in the very end, the subtle MVP of this show, one of them anyway, my man Jazzy Jeff, is letting Will know that, look, bruh, the decision is on you, man. You ain't got to make this decision. Everybody's looking for you. Everybody's loving you. And Jazzy Jeff gave him quotes to start this whole entire series, and he's ending him with a great quote that's like, Will, it's time for you to be your own man. This city is not going to define who you are based on where you come from. You define that, where you're at now. And I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, Jazzy Jeff has definitely been the MVP of this series, but I want to hear from you guys. How did you like this first season? Loved it. How did you like this finale? For me, loved it. Post me all your comments. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. And hopefully between now and a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of days, I can get someone up here from the series to kind of, interview and talk about everything they liked and felt, and just the way it felt to be on scene for this groundbreaking show. That's going to do it for the video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, get that life game. Till that next Sex is Hell video, I'll see you.